Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, parents, students, colleagues, all our stakeholders who are here with us this afternoon. Good evening and welcome to our PTA meeting. It is our final PTA meeting for this academic year, and we hope that we'll be able to address all your concerns, all your questions, all your issues as we go forward into the rest of our activities for this year. The privilege is mine to welcome you on behalf of the Innswood High School administration, teachers and staff, and all our workers. We want to say welcome, and we want to say we hope that you have been having a restful, peaceful time at home and you haven't been getting too much trouble from your children. And so parents, we want to welcome you. Students who are here, we want to welcome you as well. We want to recognize in a special way those who are on YouTube. Those of you who are joining us on YouTube, welcome. And we want to let you know, YouTubers, that we are going to be taking your questions and your concerns as well. So all you will need to do is to type your questions in the chat and we will answer your questions so that all of those who are unable to be here, those people who are unable to be here this afternoon, when they do come on to view this live stream, they will be able to get the responses as well, because I suspect that most people will have the same questions. And so as we go into our program this afternoon, I just want to invite you all to bow your heads as we seek the Lord in prayer. Let us pray. Father, we thank you for this opportunity that you have given unto us to gather in this fashion, to discuss issues relating to your children and their education. God, as we meet with the parents this afternoon, we ask, God, that this meeting will go through with decency, that everything will be done in order. We pray, oh God, that you will stabilize our internet, that you will touch our devices, and that we will not have any issues as we go through this PTA meeting. We ask you, Lord, to have your own sweet way, and we pray, oh God, that you'll give us wisdom as we seek to go through and ventilate these issues and to share with each other. Thank you so much for what you have done for us in the past, what you're doing even now, and what you will do as we go forward. For we ask it all in Jesus' mighty name. Amen. Amen. I have to tender apologies for our PTA president who is unable to join us at this time. She's having issues joining us and she's unable to join. And she wanted to be here to welcome you and to share with you, her congratulations for the kind of work that you have been doing with your children as we go through this difficult time online. She wants you to know that she understands that it is stressful, and the association wants to hear from you. The association would like you to send concerns to her, and if you don't know who she is by now, I suspect that when next we meet, that she will try her best to be there so that you can see her face to face. But if you would like to get to her directly, you can speak to our guidance counselors and they will give you the information to speak directly with the PTA president. All right, so before we go back face to face, you will know who she is, and you'll be able to build a relationship as we go forward. And so I just want to say on her behalf, tender apologies for her. And some of our teachers as well, they have tendered apologies because they are actually teaching classes at this time, extra classes in preparation for Seasick exams. So you would understand that some of our children will be going into exams in a few weeks' time, some in a couple of days' time, some are in exams right now. And so the teachers are putting in overtime with them to have them prepared for these exams. And so some of our teachers are not here. But we want to take this time to welcome all of you who are here. We're happy that you were able to make it, and we hope that we will be able to address all your issues and all your concerns as we go through this meeting this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, we're going to be heading right into our agenda for this afternoon, and we will have at this time our principal, the Reverend Dr. Everton Thomas, coming to give the principal's address. And so I'm going to ask you to give him your undivided attention as he comes to speak to us at this time. Dr. Thomas.
Thank you, Mr. Anson. And good evening, colleagues, and good evening, parents and students. Normally at this time, our students will say, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. I'm hoping to hear one or two of that at this time. But I want to say thank you for joining us. We are delighted to have you here with us on this platform to share some important notice that you need to hear and need to have as we go along. Now, just want to say to my students and parents that we know that this has been rough. It has been a rough year for all of us, where our students having issues with internet and the devices. We know the problems are there, and we have empathized and also sympathized. But we want you to know that we have you covered despite the challenges that you're going through. You have never left our thoughts. We were always thinking about you. I just want to share with you that the journey that we have been on, the journey that we have walked since COVID took over, has been rough. Challenges were great. But despite the challenges, we made strides. And let me share with you some of the strides that we have made. One, the vice principals, this came about through Mrs. Rowe. This was her brainchild, where she came up with an idea to go out in the community and get the students. And so all of us came on board. Different persons from different departments of the school came on board, and we went out in the community and we got the students to come back. And in doing so, we're able to report to you that our students are now, most of our students are now at school and getting ready for the Seasick and the other exams. I want to give a round of applause rather for the vice principal, Mrs. Rowe, and the other Mr. Small and Mr. Anson, and the other persons who went on that walk to get the students in. Parents, I must say to you that it was challenging when they went out, but we give God thanks that they were able to go through and got the students to come out. We have other achievement that I want to boast about despite the COVID era. We have boys' days and girls' days. We had company coming in to give different things to our students. For example, VMBS came in and gave tablets to our students. Food for the Poor came in and gave different stuff. So we had other company also coming in, showing that they care, knowing that our students are at a disadvantage, and they came in and assisted so our students can be online. And I just want to say again, colleagues, that we have awards for students, where students were given certificates because of their achievement in terms of coming out to school on time, online school, of course, taking part in different clubs activity that we have. And I want to say thanks to the teachers who were working behind the different clubs and society while we're online. The students are able to come out and be a part of the different clubs. Also, we also have in-house competition, where students had competition where they were given certificates. I want to thank the other teachers who did this. Now, colleagues, this PTA meeting is important, very much important, as we're coming to the exam time and the closure of school. We saw it best that we have this meeting to meet our parents, to get some of the concerns that we can address and move forward, so our parents and students can understand what's happening at Innswood High School. Please bear this in mind. We have never closed our school door. Our doors has always been open. Online, we were there. And I must say thank you to the teachers who were always online, despite the challenges that they had, because they too had internet challenges. They too had device problem, but they made it work. I want to thank the teachers for making this work, for coming out online day after day. Even when school was dismissed, we had teachers who were there working with students. I want to thank our teachers, the teachers at Innswood High School, for going the extra mile as usual. Thank you very much, colleagues. And as we continue to work hard, as we continue to do our best, as we continue to do the impossible at Innswood High School, let me say this to my parents: your children are in good hands. Again, I want to thank you for coming out and for being a part of this PTA meeting. One thing for sure, that our parents at Innswood High School cares a lot for their students. I want to say that one more time. The parents that we have, the quality of parents that we have, they care for their children. This is more than one time we're having our PTA meeting, and I've seen that the platform is bombarded, overloaded by parents. This tells me, or tell us at the school, that our parents are concerned about their children's progress. And I'm happy to be a part of this noble institution. Now, you would have known our history. I know where we're going, where we're coming from, and where we're going. And you can see and testify with us, colleagues and parents, that we are moving from strength to strength, despite COVID want to destroy our strides. We were always there, and we're doing better, and we're doing well. Now you might ask, better, sir? Better in the sense that we're reaching out to parents online, reaching out to students online. Now parents, I know you will say to me today, it has been rough. I agree totally, it has been rough. But one thing for sure, our spirit to go further is still there. The spirit to drive through the hard time is still there. And let me just divert a bit and let you know that we are going to do our best as exam is coming up. As we're facing the Seasick exam, we have been doing our best. I will share this with you before I turn over to the moderator, Mr. Anson, the vice principal, because we don't intend to be long today, but I've got to let you hear this. My spirit has been encouraged because of what I've seen my teachers doing, the Seasick teachers and other teachers. Let me emphasize on the Seasick at this time because they're external and also the City and Guilds and the NCT event. I have seen them in action. We have had several meetings and I've seen where these teachers has put all the effort to reach our students. Listen, I went on a platform some time ago and there was a set of teachers who were there with students and they were at it even after I left. I left there after 2, 3 o'clock and they were still at it. And here's why I'm bringing that up to you. Our teachers are giving Innswood High School students their best. In return, parents, let us give our best to our children and our teachers. Now, as I'm going to close, let me just remind you that the mode of operandi that we've been using throughout this year might be possible again for the next school year. What does that mean? That means that we might be going, according to the Ministry of Education, we might be going online and face-to-face for some students. As we face the uncertainty of next year, of September, I want you to know that we are here for you as teachers. We're here for you as parents, and we want to do this together. Together, we want to succeed. Together, we want to do well. I promise this is the last thing I want to say. I've often said to my teachers that when my child does well and your child fails, the child that fails and my good child that I'm grooming will see that child and they become one. Now, that child that we consider to be a failure will be a part of my family. So here's it. We seek to make your child a success while our children is doing well, because we know that this is a community and everything is linked in a community. So parents, let me encourage you. We have a lot to say and you'll be hearing from me again, but we have a lot to say. Let us continue to do well. I can do all things through Christ who give us strength. And we know as a fact because we have seen our students at Innswood High School, the school that was once categorized as a school of failure. I can do all things through Christ. It's now a success story. The school that they categorize as bad boys and bad girls, I can do all things through Christ. They are now the children of choice. I say this to you. Why I say that is because today somebody came to visit me at the school. She was a past student. And she said to me, sir, when I was coming here, and she gave me all the bad things. And she said, sir, what I see now is good things. Our girls are behaving like ladies. Our boys are behaving like gentlemen. I'm happy to report that to you because a past student came and was able to say that to me. And I felt good because why? We can do all things through Christ. Again, colleagues, students, you'll be hearing from me some more. And the agenda is there, and I don't want to go over the time. I want to say thank you, Mr. Anson. Over to you, sir. And to your parents, thanks again.
Thank you so much, Dr. Thomas, for coming and sharing. And we want to thank you also for the work that you have been doing, leading this institution. It's not an easy task to do at this time. It's a difficult time to lead. It's indeed a difficult time to lead. But we want to thank you, sir, for the commitment and the drive that you have in leading this institution. At this time, I'm going to be inviting Mr. Small, one of our vice principals, to come and give his address, and he will also speak on a matter that I know many of you may want to hear about. And so I'm going to invite Mr. Small to come at this time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hanson. Greetings, parents, Greetings, students, guardians, caregivers who are on this platform. Greetings to my colleagues. I'm hoping at this point in time that you're having, a relaxing evening. And of course, we have, some very vital information for you this afternoon. And we're happy that we could really meet at this point in time. I call this the family time, right? This is a time where we actually discuss, very important things, where the family is concerned, so that we can move along effectively and so that everybody is on the same wavelength. So welcome. This will be our last PTA meeting for the year. And what a year it has been. A year of challenges, a year of growth, for a lot of persons. You understand, a year of development. And I'm telling you that we are making our way through. We are actually on the other end now, trying to see how best we now can readjust to what might become normal in the future. But it's indeed an honor to be here, alive and well. I hope you're feeling the same, healthy, and taking care of yourselves and your family. We, of course, are here because of that constant that we have to deal with, which is our students. And we take so much care and attention to detail when it comes to our students. And we want to ensure that whatever it is that we do, it is in the best interest of our students. And so it is important that we have these type of meetings. Now, I just have a few information to bring to you with regards to what has been, our Achilles heel for this particular period, during this pandemic. The lack of resources in terms of devices and internet connection and you name it. And parents, I know that you have a list there that you have with you as what could be challenging for this year. However, I will be looking at what is it that we have been doing as an institution in addressing some of these issues, primarily the devices for students. Now, under the Laptop for Children initiative that the ministry has implemented since this pandemic has come about, we were expected to get, or we are expecting to get 241, to be exact, laptops for our students. And we're talking about students who are in dire need, and the priority ones that we have selected. Of that 241, we have received 40 so far. We have received 40 so far, and we can understand that the task at hand is very tedious. And we're not talking about Innswood High School only, talking about so many other schools across the island who would have been in the same situation. So at this point in time, we have procured 40 laptops under that arrangement. And all those laptops have been distributed to our students. We have asked that our students come in with their parents, and we conduct an interview just to have an understanding of what has been happening at home and what the challenges are. And we find the best possible solution. And we prioritize, of course, our exam students. As you would have known, exam is around the corner, and we see them at this point in time as priority, where we try as best as possible to at least meet them halfway, to at least allow them to have a device to facilitate their learning so that they can subsequently be successful in their exams. So we have distributed all 40 of the laptops at this point in time. So when I speak, as I speak, we are without devices to assist children. However, we also had tablets. So we had laptops and tablets that we have distributed. The tablets, of course, was actually donated to us by our dear friend from the Worship and Faith Ministry, WAFIF, and they had given us 65 tablets, and all tablets have been distributed as well. We didn't keep them. We tried as best as possible to quickly identify the persons who are in need, and we distributed to assist those persons. Of course, we know that we have a lot of students who are still having challenges, a lot of students who are still, having difficulty accessing the necessary resources to even be online. We have parents who have been coming in, and the reality is, the reality is for some, and we can speak it as it is, that for some, it will be a case where it is possible that some of these course, some of these grades that these students would have been a part of, maybe they have to do a year over. We have parents and students who would have been coming in very concerned, saying that they have not been on the online space for a very long time, for months, sometimes twice. They have been online since the whole pandemic. And it is real. These are things that we have to deal with. And we are not turning a blind eye onto as it relates to these situations. And we, of course, have to meet from time to time. And I know that we'll be having a lot of meetings where we have to come to a consensus as what the situation is and what the situation will be as it relates to the best interest of our students. All right, so we have that to factor in. Of course, I want for the students to know that we have actually developed an online space for you at this point in time to air your concerns. A lot of times I get to understand that they have been trying to reach out to teachers and administrators as well, and would have been having difficulty where that is concerned. And this is because of the trafficking, the high traffic of response and messages that we would have been receiving. We have been doing this since September of last year. And I'm telling you, I mean, a lot of our colleagues, including myself, have to be changing devices because of the high trafficking of messages and response that we have to be doing. And so we have missed some of these concerns. We have missed some of these issues that the students genuinely have. So there is a junior support group that I had initiated, a junior support group. The link has been posted in the chat. Now, students, I want you to join that group. So if you have any problems or issues relating to the online space, then you can post it there, and we can, as best as possible, see how quickly we can address it and correct whatever those issues are. The link again is in the chat. You can go search for it, click that link and join that group. We know that exams are coming up. You know that exams are coming up. And of course, we're on the online space. So you know that there might be problems and there might be challenges. And I want for you to use that medium to post your concerns so that we can quickly deal with them. All right. So I implore of you to just join that group. And it will hopefully benefit you in the end. This is still a learning process for all of us. All of us. We have not mastered the online space. We are no experts in the online space. And more so the parents, I know that is also challenging for you. But what I do implore of you though, and this is a personal concern of mine, that I do realize that there is a deficit. The parental supervision we see is at a low. We know that this has been a problem before, but this pandemic has shown, that the parents actually need to ensure that they supervise their children at home when they're on the online space. They use this opportunity to let you know, parents, the students will use this opportunity to let you know that they are doing work and they're online and they're engaged with their classes and their sessions, when that will really and truly might not be the case. So I ask of you to be more vigilant, to be more assertive. I ask of you to do your checks. All right. I'm asking of you to share the account, the same account that the students have, the same account that the students use to access their online space, to interact with their classes, the same account that they use to get their assignments. You can also have that on your device to use. And of course, you can see that information, whatever information that the teacher sends to that student, you will also see it. So you have an understanding and you are on top of things when it comes to supervision. So I'm asking of you, I'm imploring, onto you to be very assertive and to ensure that your child is taking the responsibility of ensuring that he or she makes use of the educational opportunities that presents itself. All right, so I wish for you all the best. We'll of course be having constant discussions. I know that there are a lot of questions to be asked, but I want for you at this point your undivided attention as we discuss in its entirety the arrangements that is ahead for this examination period. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Small. Thank you so much for your presentation and for that update, that very important update that you have given us as it relates to, you know, the tablets and laptops. It's really a sore area these days. You know, many people have great concerns, and so we are really happy that you were able to share with us that update this afternoon. All right, so we are heading into examinations, and we have with us our exams coordinator. His name is Mr. Remiki, and I'm going to ask Mr. Remiki at this time to come. He is going to be sharing with us some important dates that we need to keep in mind as we prepare to go into our City and Guilds and Seasick exams, and as we continue with our NCTVET exam. So Mr. Remiki, over to you at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Hansen. Blessings, everyone. Can you hear me clearly though?
Yes,
we're hearing you, sir.
Wonderful. Yeah, I was have to do that check, you know, because sometimes we talk and we never turn on the mic.
Yes,
all right.
Yes.
Blessings, everyone, again. So I am Mr. Remiki, the exam coordinator and the IT teacher. So just want to run over a few things, just to be very quick. So we are at the point in the school year where we have external exams. We have completed a piece of the City and Guilds external exams, some speaking and listening sections for the English areas, and we did some mock exams over the past 2-3 weeks. So at this point, we are at the end of that section. So the only thing left for us to do as it regards to City and Guilds exams will be the final exams. And the final exam for City and Guilds will be August 9th. That's the final external exam for City and Guilds for both maths and English will be August 9th, all right? And that will be done on a full exam condition with external supervisors, and we will use the school ground, the same exam block that we always do, all right? We also have our Seasick exams upon us now. We are past the SBA stages. All SBAs have been collected and submitted, so we are past that stage now, so we're looking forward to the actual exams, right? As you know, the exams have been pushed back, I think about two times. So the current date for the starting, a matter of fact, some pieces of the exam, of the external exams have started already, because we have already had like some of the practical years, PE practical, and some other years that have already started already, right? The written parts of the CSEC exams will begin on June 28th. That's June 28th, and that will continue until July 30, right? So the final exam for CSEC will begin, written papers will begin on June 28th and continue to July 30, right? A few weeks ago, students were given timetables. Timetables are the individual timetables that students will receive that will show their name, their exam, and the days that they have exams, right? That was done before the rescheduling of exams, right? So any timetables that were collected last week or previous weeks, we ask that you discard of those, right? Currently, as we speak, the new printed timetables are at the school, so we ask that students can go ahead and collect those timetables. That are the new ones with the updated dates, with the updated dates that I just mentioned, with the final dates. So those are at the school as we speak, and you can go ahead and collect those. Let me emphasize, the timetables are very important. First of all, it shows your candidate name and some information regarding your candidate name, your name, the subjects that you're doing, the date that you're doing your exams, and the time that you're doing your specific exams, right? In addition to that, it is a piece of material that is required to be represented in each exam that you go. So each exam sitting that you go to, you have to present the timetable to the invigilator, right? So when you get those timetables, don't take them and put on or put them in one drawer, get a baby sister to play with or something like that. It's a very important piece of document. As a matter of fact, you can pretty much Well, so when you have the timetable, along with that, you need to also have a school ID, right? Previously, students would have taken some school IDs. So if you have the school IDs already, and it still looks like you, we can still identify it as you, and it has not expired already, then you can still use those school IDs, right? If you don't have a school ID at this time, we're asking that you get a passport picture, and you can take this to the school and submit it. We will check it, verify it, and we will stamp it, and we can use it. So you will drop it off, we will stamp it, check it, stamp it, and then you can pick it up at before exams, and then you can use this picture with the stamp as your ID for exams, all right? Outside of this, you can also use a passport if you have a passport, or if you have a passport size picture that is already stamped and signed by a JP, you can use that as well, all right? So that can be used as well. Bear in mind, the ID must be presented at each exam sitting as well, right? So if you think about it, the ID can be the passport and the timetable is like the visa. So, you know, you can't leave the island without the passport and the visa. Both of them go hand in hand. You can't present one without the other, and you need both of them all for all the sittings of all exams. Bear in mind, the persons that are invigilating these exams are not from Innswood High School, so they don't know the students, right? When these exams start, they are managed and operated by CXC. The school has no authority to go in that room to mess with anything that they're doing inside there. So we can't go there and say, yeah, man, a John Brown, we know him, give him a chance. We can't do anything like that, all right? The exams have to go on in its way it was designed and maintain its integrity, right? So we ask that all students ensure that you pick up your ID, get the ID sorted out with the picture and get it stamped by the school, and ensure that you collect your timetable. Timetables are at the school, at the front office as we speak. Wonderful. So you need to have both of those. All right. Just run through some other things quickly. When we begin exams, we just want to remind students that the invigilators are in charge of these exams, and they will be the ones to monitor these exams. Anything they say or do, that is what stands. I am myself the exam coordinator, the principal. Nobody can come in there and tell the invigilator what to do, right? Bear this in mind, because anything you do in that room will affect you, all right? So we ask that the person be on their best behavior at all times during those exams, right? Bear in mind, if you do anything to disrupt those exams, you can be put out, and we don't have the authority to tell invigilators to put you back because of any reason at all. If you are put out of the exam, that becomes a CXC issue where they have to write up a report, and we don't want to go down that road. In addition to that, it depends on the severity of whatever offense you did. Depends on the severity of it, meaning up to a certain point, CXC might actually block you from sitting any further exam for the year, right? And we don't want a situation like that. So please, students, be on your best behavior for that. For all exams, your regular uniform is to be worn, your regular school uniform. Bear in mind, it is a school exam, so your school uniform is to be worn for all exams. We know that there are few, and we already know a few because we've heard from them, and we heard from them parents already, because so remember, face-to-face started a few weeks ago, right? And we saw these students who we know don't have the uniform, so we know them already, right? So for those few students that don't have the uniform, we're asking them to come in and speak to the vice principal so we can make some sort of arrangement, right? We don't want it to be a free-for-all where everybody turn up in regular clothes, and then going to create problems and exams might be disrupted, all right? So you are to wear your full uniform, regular school uniform for all sittings of all exams. In the few occasions for the students that we know of that don't have uniforms at this time, they will wear proper plain black or blue jeans, plain, no rips, no colors, no any fandangles or glittering on it, and plain polo t-shirts, no sleeveless, no tight anything, no short anything. You use your imagination. If you look in the mirror and if you have to wonder if you can wear this, then don't wear it, all right? Because we are going to be very strict on that. So we're not going to let you through the gate. So it's not even that the invigilator are not going to let you in if you're not dressed appropriately. You're not even going to get through the gate to even reach to the room where the invigilator is, all right? And remember, people, these are final exams, so we have to take them very, very seriously, all right? Students are responsible for their punctuality. Students have to be on time. all exams start at a particular time. The morning exams start at 9 o'clock and it's only at 9 o'clock. The afternoon exams start at 1 o'clock and only 1 o'clock. There are no provisions outside of that. If you have internal issues that prevent you from coming out for the exams, there's nothing at all that the school can do about that. The only way that exams can be, the time can be altered or changed is if the whole country or the whole Caribbean have the same exact problem, then everything can be changed. But outside of that, they can't shift anytime or allow anytime. So you can't come and tell us that you wake up later, you had to go to your parent, you had to go to another parent for lunch money and whatever the case is. Understand those excuses cannot work. All right. So it is your responsibility to be on time and to be present for your exam. In addition to that, you must ensure that you have all material in advance. So if you know that you're going to want pencil, pen, ruler, calculator, whatever the case is, you need to have these things from now. You cannot wait until the appointed time because the school will not be providing anything like that. You can't walk and try to borrow anything. As a matter of fact, by the time exams start, the school will be empty. So nobody will be there for you to borrow or buy or anything like that. So get all of that upfront from now. So that's it for exam for Seasick. For NCTVET exams were last week, right? So all students would have known that already because they would have turned out for the exams. For this week, parents, the students are supposed to be preparing a recording for a practical year, recording to submit to NCTVET as part of their grading system, right? Ensure that your child is doing that. Ask them about it. Tell them that you want to see it. If they made the recording, tell them that you want to see the recording so you can make sure that they are doing what they're supposed to be doing. So all NCTVET students should have done some sort of recording for their practical area to submit because as part of the submissions. All right, good. So that's it for grade 11. For grade 10s, welcome grade 10 students. I felt like it was just yesterday that I was welcoming the current grade 11 and already the year is ended. So I can say this to you. I'm telling you welcome right now, but I can tell you by the Quint, I will be giving you your instructions on how you will be doing Seasick exams next week, right? Because the time will fly off like that. And I don't want you to take that for granted or anything, because the time is going to fly off, literally fly off before you know it, right? Grade 10 students for the upcoming year will be given an opportunity to do three examination bodies, right? Seasick, what we normally call CXC, Seasick, they'll be doing City and Guilds, which is the international exam, City and Guilds, and they'll be doing NCTVET exams, right? So all grade 10 students should have an opportunity to do all of these subjects, all right? You will hear further from this as we go forward. In addition to that, SBA for Seasick subjects, right? SBAs should have started already for some of the years. Some of the subjects in grade 10, they have already started the SBAs, all right? So that is something that should be ongoing already. In addition to that, bear in mind that for some students, the teachers will use some of the time in the summer to start the SBAs with you. It's not that they might be having classes or formal classes or anything like that, but they might be sending worksheets and they might be sending pieces of the SBA and things like that for you to complete, right? And in some of the cases, some of these items need to be completed before grade 11 because it might form part of your recommendation process or how the teacher will manage you being recommended going forward, right? So if you are getting pieces of SBAs that need to be submitted, I advise you take it very serious. Do not turn up grade 11 morning without anything at all saying that you never know or whatever the case is. You have to take the responsibility to find out from your teacher. Find out, sir, miss, is there any SBA project that is going to be taking place during the summer that I need to know about? Please send it to me now. Please send it to me at the appropriate time. Get all of your information. It is your responsibility, students. If you turn up grade 11 morning and you hear that it was done and you never get to do it, you can't blame anybody else, right? Because we are also pressured on our side. So we ask that you make the effort, contact the teacher and whatever platforms that you have to ensure that you get those informations out. In this month, in June, I'm going to start the registration process for exams. The registration process meaning I'm going to start collecting the information from the students that I need, like their correct name spelling, the correct date of birth, all of this information, contact information, parents information, whatever the case is, in June. I'm going to be sending out a Google form. So I send out a link to a Google form. So our grade 10 parents will fill out that information. It will come to me, and that will form a part of your registration for exams going into grade 11, all right? Part of the reason why we started so early is that we want to be proactive, right? CXC won't give out the final prices, the cost, the exact cost for exams until about early October. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to prepare a package and let you know exactly or close as much to what you might need to pay from long before that, because the problem is when CXC tell you that they want, when CXC give the price October, early October, they want to start collecting by early November, right? And the timeline is usually very short. A lot of time that timeline is very short for parents to go out there and find $20,000, $30,000 one time, right? So what we're trying to do is get all the information together from now. So hopefully by September morning, we can give you an idea of exactly how much you might need to pay and whatever the case is, so you can start preparing yourself. In addition to that, grade 10 parents, please start preparing yourself for whatever amount you need to pay. I can tell you that for sitting up to 5 subjects or more can cost anywhere between $25,000 to $35,000 to sit these subjects. The government does provide some subsidy for some of these subjects, but it is not a guaranteed thing. I can't swear blind that every year it is going to happen. I have to wait until I get a letter from the Ministry of Education saying that they will be granting it this year, and then I can pass it on. So my advice is have this money ready and just put out, right? If you hear that the ministry say, yes, they are subsidizing the exams, and wonderful, you can put that money towards something else. So you can contribute to the school if you want, or whatever the case is. But in the event that they say that whatever the case is, God forbid, they might not be able to provide it, you will have been prepared. So don't wait until the last minute to start looking at money. Start putting it together from now, right? It's very important. CXC don't offer layaway or hire purchase or any little payment plan like that. When they want the money, CXC is a business. When they want the money, they want it now. Same thing applies for all of the exam areas, right? To start putting that payment plan in place for yourselves. Right. And once we have all the information together, we can start passing on information to you as early September for you to start the process. That was 12 items. Yeah, I think that's it. I think I've covered everything.
Sorry, just inform the grade 11s that the timetable is not available, so just let them know.
Yeah, man, I mentioned it a while ago, so I'm mentioning it again. Grade 11 parents and students, if you're listening, the updated timetables are available at the school now. If you collected the timetables from last week or previously, discard off that one because the dates on it have been changed, right? So you need to go into the front office and collect the updated new timetables that you'll be using for your upcoming exams, all right? Anybody else have any questions that I can help with?
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Remeki. I'm not seeing any questions in the chat just yet. They will type the questions in the chat. I hear people asking though about our internal exams for grades 7 to 9. And I will try to address that now so that you can know exactly what will be happening come Wednesday as it relates to the examinations. Pretty much, parents, we are going to be having exams for grades 7 to 11, internal exams. Online, we're going to be having exams for grades 7 to 10. So starting on Wednesday, we'll be having an exam for grades 7 to 10 students online. The examination timetable would have gone out already. So I know many of you would have already seen it. If you have not yet seen the timetable, I'm going to ask that you communicate with the form teacher for your child. So go into the form room in the Google Classroom and check there for the timetable for your child. And if you don't see it there, I'm going to ask that you check the different WhatsApp groups that you're a part of, because I know they would have been posted. Now we start on Wednesday. The exams start at 9 o'clock and we end at 2 p.m. daily. All right, there are some days when the child may have one exam. So you need to take that into consideration. You need to look at the timetable to see when your child has exams and when they will not have exam, because we don't want them to miss any of these exams. Now, the exams are going to be done online. So yes, it's going to be in your Google Classroom. So you will look at the timetable, see which subject you have, and then you will go into that subject room in order to sit the exam. The timetable is different from your regular class timetable. So if you follow the regular class timetable to do your exam, you may miss your exam because you may go into the wrong room. So I'm going to ask you to follow the examination timetable and go into the room for the subject that you should have on that day. So I'm speaking to you now, parents, as if I'm talking to your children, because I expect that you're going to tell them this information and you're going to ensure that it's clear. So after you go into that room, the teacher will then post the link to the examination in the room, and the child will then open that Google form or that Google Doc and will do the exam right there. If they do not complete the exam during the time that is allotted, the teacher is going to close the exam and they may not be able to finish it. So don't allow them, when they have exam, to be outside walking around doing all manner of things when they should be sitting in front of their device completing the examination. Because when the exam time ends, the teacher can close that exam and the child will not be able to complete the exam. And the next thing that will happen is that you may say to the teacher that the child was not there. But please bear this in mind. Whenever a child logs on to class, the teacher gets a register that is automatically created by Google Classroom. So the teacher can tell who was there from those who were not there. So if your child is there and leaves for whatever reason, the teacher will know. If you have internet issues, you will need to communicate with your teacher to let the teacher know the challenges that you were having. Your class teacher, your subject teacher is the person who will be able to assist you as it relates to these exams. So I'm asking that you pay attention to your timetable and that you ensure that you are there in the correct room when it's time for your exams. I know, parents, that some of you, like you have been doing over the past months, you leave them at home and you instruct them to go on, log into class and complete the work. And when you get back home, you realize that they have not been doing so. For this period, we're asking you kindly to ensure that there's an adult there to supervise your child. There's an adult there to ensure that the child is logging in and is completing his or her exams, because these exams will be used, very important, they'll be used to help to move some of your students, some of your children into the classes that they need to be in so that we can cater to their needs. So we don't want them to miss these exams. So if you were not supervising your child before, you will need to do that for these exams. They are very important. Now, I realize that there are some parents who are just now coming to school because exams are on, to ask how can we get the child on to sit exams. Now, some of these children, parents have not been coming to school from October, and it's now the end of the school year. And I've had to deal with some cases already of this nature. It's now the end of the school year, it's exam time. Exam starts on Wednesday. There is not much we can do to assist you at this time as it relates to sitting the exams and doing the exams, because you will not be able to get a report, because we can't put just one exam grade on an end of year report. There are other grades that would need to go on it, and attendance records and so on. The teachers will not know this child to even put a comment there. So it's very important that if your child has not been coming to school before now, you will need to come in to have a conversation with us for us to see how we can assist in getting the child in school for September. But at this time, at the end of the school year, there is not much we can do to assist. And so I'm going to ask you, if you know of children who are not going to school, have not been coming to school online, please let them know that they can come in and talk to us, and we will see how best we can work something out to ensure that the child, gets the necessary instruction that he or she needs. The principal later on will speak to you on a matter that I know some of you may have questions on. And so I'm going to leave that part for when he comes. I saw on YouTube, somebody was asking if the grade 10s now, when they get to grade 11, September, if they are going to be face-to-face. And the reality of the situation is we can't directly say to you now what will happen come September. It could very well be that the entire school population will be face-to-face, or a percentage or a fraction of the school will be face-to-face. We can't say just yet, because we will need to wait on the government to give us some important information before we can make some decisions for our institution. So bear with us, give us some time, allow us to finish the school year, finish the activities that we have on the calendar for this year. And then when we go into the summer, we will start to give you some more information as to what school will look like come September morning. All right, so I'm asking that you bear with us where that is concerned. Now, just for emphasis, I'm repeating, exams begin on Wednesday. That's this Wednesday, the 16th of June. We start at 9 a.m. every morning. And we expect that your child will log into the Google Classroom for the subject. So you'll look at the examination timetable, look which subject the child has, and you will log into that room to sit the exam. And your teachers will be there to carry you and guide them through the process. All right, so I hope that I have cleared that aspect. And as we go along, if there are any other questions that you have relating to this matter, you can just post it in the chat, whether on Zoom or on YouTube, and we will respond to them at the earliest possible time. At this time, we're going to be continuing with our agenda, and we have with us our Dean of Discipline, Mrs. Carr Roach. Many of you know her as Miss Carr. Mrs. Carr Roach is here, and she is going to be addressing you at this time. Mrs. Carr Roach, over to you.
Thank you, Brother Hanson. Thank you. Thank you, colleagues. Good afternoon. It's not afternoon, it's evening now. A great evening to you all, my wonderful colleagues and my wonderful parents, and to the students who have joined us this evening. I want to say how much I appreciate you being here with us for our last PTA meeting for the school year. And it has been a challenging school year, but nevertheless, we have made it this far. I just want to share a few tips with you this evening on some matters that we have all been experiencing, and some matters that we constantly are discussing, but we have to. All right. I want to talk to you about your mental health. I want to talk to you about your mental health. It is said that there is no good health without good mental health. So I want to encourage you, my parents, my colleagues, how important it is to spend some time and focus on your mental health. We see that in this time during the pandemic, that a lot of persons are experiencing a lot of challenges, are very stressed, are having a difficulty with coping just because of how overwhelming this pandemic has been. In a number of discussions with my colleagues and a number of discussions with parents, I would hear the frustration coming out, Miss McCann, bother. It has been difficult. It has been difficult. We can't deny that. Though we have learned, Mr. Small had said that earlier, that we would have learned a lot during this pandemic, but it still has been difficult. So parents, I just want to share with you a few tips. Not every now and again, I always encourage myself, and I want to encourage you as well. And we encourage our students to say the word of God, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Positive self-talk is very important. Before you approach, I know when you hear the word exam, it brings some amount of anxiety. It brings a lot of stress. Even our A student might feel a little stressed when they think about the exam. But rest assured that you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Parents, I want to encourage you every now and again, especially now, more than ever, because this pandemic and this whole COVID-19 thing has been so stressful. Every now and again, parents, you need to pause, step back, breathe, and relax. Reflect. That simple activity can help you just to manage stress. Every now and again, it is important that you pause, you step back and you breathe, reflect, stop, encourage yourself. I can do this. Slow breathing is the best way to lower stress. Slow breathing. I know some of you might work in a very hectic environment. And listen, Mr. Small, Mr. Hanson, the principal, we can tell you about working in a hectic environment. Working in the school can be very challenging at times. But every now and again, we stop and we take a breath. We breathe, slow breathing, just to help to manage the stress of the day. Parents, I want to encourage you as well to connect with others around you. Maybe it is your sister, maybe it's your brother, family members who are parents as well. Maybe it's somebody at work. I want to encourage you this afternoon or this evening to connect with others about how you're feeling, how you have been managing. Every time I meet with the students, I always do a check-in. How are you doing today? And I want to encourage you, parents, to ask your children that. May that be a part of your conversation starter. How are you doing today? And it's very important, parents, that you stop and take check of your emotions and how you are coping. Find somebody to talk to about how you're feeling and how you're managing. Doesn't matter what. It might be something simple. This morning, I was speaking to a parent and she was sharing with me that she don't have no money. She said, Miss, me no have no money. Me not left me out today. Me can't go to work. And we were talking and sharing. And by the end of the conversation, we're on the phone. But by the end of the conversation, she could share that she felt a little bit more relaxed just by talking. All right. Another tip I want to share with you this evening, parents. It is important that you keep a healthy routine. Now, I know that when a lot of people are stressed, they want to run and drink and smoke and listen. Those habits only cause more stress and more problem and a breakdown in your mental health. So I want to encourage you again, colleagues, parents, it is good to get healthy routines going. Get up and go to bed at a regular time, at a routine, a similar time each day. Maintain good personal health. Maintain good personal health. This is not only for the students. Maintain good personal health. Good personal health helps you to feel good about yourself. Try as best as possible to eat healthy. Now, we do find that there are lots of persons who are overeating because of the pandemic. It is difficult being at home, but I want to encourage you parents to eat healthy. Ensure that you're eating your fruits and your vegetables. Ensure that you're drinking a lot of water. And parents, I know you might have a busy schedule, but it is important that you set up some time to exercise, to work out, walk around your community. And a matter of fact, listen, even if you cannot walk around your community, you can stand in one spot and just walk on the spot. Just walk, get up to 15 minutes, 20 minutes, jumping jacks, whatever it is. Just some time to where you are working out. All right, that is very important. Parents, I want to encourage you, be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. And I'm sharing this with you after talking with my parents and my colleagues and hearing the frustration, hearing the misery, hearing the stress. I want to encourage you, parents, don't put too much expectations on yourself. It's okay to have a bad day. It is okay to have a day when you can't get to do everything where you did plan to do. And it's okay. It is okay. Be kind to yourself and be kind to others. Say nice things, as I shared with you before. Positive self-talk helps with building and maintaining a good frame of mind, as we're talking this afternoon about mental health. You know that the ministry would have been, the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Education would have been putting a lot of emphasis on mental health for children. How are children coping? When this pandemic started last year, we would have seen, sadly, a number of our children committing suicide, and that would speak to a breakdown in their mental health. we have had an increase in violence, and that speaks to mental health. It is just a reflection of how people are coping or the lack thereof. So the last thing I want to share with you as it relates to maintaining good mental health, don't be afraid to reach out. Every meeting that we've had, we have shared our numbers and we've asked you, don't hesitate, don't delay, call us. We are here to offer you support. You can reach out to your pastors. There are community leaders who you can reach out to. Maybe they're not professional counselors, but they will be able to refer you to a professional agency. Please do not be afraid to reach out to a professional. On another note, this evening, parents, I want to encourage you as we are approaching the summer holiday. I know that there are some of our students who are, well, most of the students, all who I've spoken to, are very excited about their summer break. Remember that this summer break is unlike any other. We still are grappling with the effects, and we still are grappling with COVID-19. COVID-19 is still a key. And I know that 80% of our population is not yet vaccinated. So you still have an awesome responsibility to protect yourself and protect those around you from contracting the virus. The last thing we want to hear is at the end of summer, we hear that the cases have gone up again and school can't reopen, all right? So we don't want that. We don't want another major shutdown. So we know that our beaches are open, and even though we still have a curfew, we can move around a lot easier. We can move around a lot easier now. But parents, I still want you to be conscious of the fact that COVID-19 is still a key. You still need to wash your hands. You still need to wear your mask. When you get home, you need to, don't wear the shoes inside. Avoid touching your hand and your nose. Avoid people who are sick. If you're exhibiting any flu-like symptoms, I want to encourage you to stay home. Please, as I had mentioned before, with maintaining good mental health, I encourage you to exercise and eat healthy. That also can help to boost your immune system. Please, parents, I'm encouraging you and encourage your child to engage, drink your tea. I love ginger and lemon tea. Engage in things that will boost your immune system. All right. Exercise. Again, we should still be observing social distancing. I still go places and I still see where people are crammed together, parents, colleagues. COVID-19 is still a key. We're still in the middle of a pandemic. Let us not take anything for granted. I keep saying that. Now, I want to encourage you to carefully consider, typical summer activities because of the change and because of what we're seeing. Sadly, we are bombarded with a lot of violence. We are bombarded with a lot of cases of abuse, sexual abuse, physical abuse, and we see that happening in the media. And I would hate if one of my students or one of my parents become victim to said. So I'm encouraging you parents to be safe. Now is the time to develop an open relationship, communication with your children. You want to listen to them, hear what is happening, and you want to be able to talk to them about being safe. Be careful when you go on the taxi, just things like that. You really don't want to take anything for granted. Summer is the time when them go down a river, and we have heard cases where our children have gone to the river and they've drowned, and they've gone to the river and they've been sexually abused or things of that nature. We don't want that to happen. You cannot talk to your children enough about these things. All right, with what we see happening around us, we really have to be sensitive. We have to raise an awareness. We have to talk to our children. And as I said to you, parents, speak to the professional, your guidance counselor, myself, your vice principals, your principal. We are here to have these conversations with you. If there's something that you're uncomfortable with, if there's something that you are unsure about, please feel free to call us and talk and share with us. Now, I see where somebody said in the chat that she's so stressed. And I want to say to you, you are not alone. A lot of us And a lot of people, we have been experiencing a lot of stress during this time, but I really hope that you would be mindful of the tips that I suggested, where you take a break every now and again, you eat healthy, you share, you have somebody who you talk to, and don't be afraid to seek professional help. Now, I really hope that the pointers that I would have shared with you this afternoon would have made an impact. Again, I will put my number in the chat. Please feel free to reach out at any time. All right, please have a safe summer. You see how far me gone? Summer, I'm not worried about the exam because I know our students will do well. They have been preparing, all the students who I've spoken to. Them say, miss a long time me I read over my work. Me a study, man. So I am anticipating that our students will be doing well in the exam. So parents, continue to do a wonderful job. And remember that we're here for you. Please do enjoy the rest of your evening. Mr. Hanson, I hand it back over to you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Carr. Thank you so much for that presentation. Students, I know now you feel a little bit more relaxed. You know, going into your exams, I know you feel a little bit more relaxed, and that was the aim, the intent for that presentation. I just want to say, I see you on YouTube. Some people are still asking, are still saying that, boy, and they want school to be opened in September and so on. Some people are asking if all the students who are in grade 10 now, if they are going to go up to grade 11 or if they will repeat grade 10 and so on. I am going to leave those questions for our principal to answer when he comes on, you know, as it relates to whether or not all of you will repeat grade 10, you know. So we will answer your questions. So post them in the chat, continue to post them in the chat, continue to post them in YouTube, and we will certainly answer your question. We are going to, at this time, invite our grade 11 coordinator, one of our grade 11 coordinators to come, Mrs. Evans Williams. She is going to be talking to us briefly on the Thanksgiving service for our grade 11 students. We know they are going off. Normally we would have a graduation ceremony. This year we are not having a graduation ceremony, but we are having a program for our grade 11s. And she's going to be coming at this time to tell us what that program will entail and what you will be able to participate in as grade 11s as you transition to the next chapter in your educational, on your educational journey. So at this time, Mrs. Evans Williams, I invite you to unmute your microphone and we are turning over to you. Mrs. Williams, are you hearing us? See, she's still online. However, I'm not hearing her. All right. Until she comes back, we're going to move right along. We're going to move right along. We have with us our guidance counselors. We have with us our guidance counselors, and we are going to be inviting at this time one of our guidance counselors. She has been with the school for a very long time, very experienced, and there is a particular program that I know she would like to share, and well, not share because you know about it. She would like to give us some information on a particular program that she's working on for our students. And so I'm going to invite at this time our guidance counselor, Mrs. Brown, to come. And then thereafter, if Mrs. Williams is ready, then she will take up after you, Mrs. Brown. Over to you, Mrs. Brown.
Good evening, colleagues. Good evening, parents. It's always good to have you, the parents, in a meeting like this to inform you as to what the school is doing. We all know that we are in a pandemic, we are in a crisis, we are having a change that no one has ever expected. However, we had to or have to be dealing with it. And with this comes behavior changes, and all of these things we have to deal with it as parents. Now, the program I want to introduce to you or to tell you about is the SWP-BIS program. Well, SWP-BIS framework. Now, this is a framework that the ministry is implementing in schools, of which Innswood High School is one of those schools. Now, it is a framework because what the difference with this program is that each school will identify behaviors that they would want to work with, identify the behaviors that they have a challenge with in their schools, and to work with it. Now, Innswood High School has chosen 4 behaviors that we want our children to practice. And this spells out the acronym ROAR. The first R is for respect. The O is for obedient. The A is for ambition. And the R is for responsibility. Now, we refer to these as our 4 core values for which the school is working with. Now, if you have been on the compound, you would have seen a number of signs that are erected all around the schools, and they are all depicting positive behaviors. And if you look carefully, you will see 4 signs that has the lion, the face of the lion on it. And these 4 signs are the ones that depict the 4 core values that we are working with. Now, this school-wide positive behavioral intervention support is here to help to make changes in the school culture or the school climate. And as you know that at Innswood, this is what we are working with, are working towards. Now, for Child's Month, we have recognized a number of our students who, even though during the pandemic, the online classes, they have been depicting these behaviors. Now, what we have recognized them for is being able to get up in the morning, log in for devotion, attending their classes, and overall depicting the behavior as expected. Now, when we look at these things that they did, we would observe that they showed respect in terms of time. They showed obedience. They showed responsibility. And all of these are needed for one to become ambitious. And so for that reason, we have recognized a number of them, exactly 70 students. So 70 students will be receiving their certificates for depicting and displaying these behaviors. Some of you parents might, your students might have told you that their names, or if you were a part of the program on Friday, you would have seen your child's name being mentioned. Now, for them to collect the certificates, we will be telling you the date on which they should come in, and we will give them their certificates. Now, what we want of you parents, we want you to be a part of this program to help us. And as a matter of fact, everything that we do at the school, without you, the parents, we won't get the success that we need. So because of that, you have an integral part to play in this program. Now, what we want of you parents is that while at home, we want you to help us to help the students to practice these core values. All right. And one of the best way of showing depicting a value is being an example of it. So we are asking you, the parents at home, to start to be an example of what you want your children to be. too often we have heard students complaining. You know, there was one young lady, she had a problem, and the problem she had at school was, when I spoke with her, she said that, Miss, I need a mother. And when I asked her the question as to why you said you need a mother, and she described what her mother was like. And the thing about it is that, parents, is that what you do is what the children learn more of. They learn more of what you do than actually what you say. So the kind of behavior you're expecting them to portray are the kind of behaviors that you yourself need to be an example of, right? For example, there are students who complain, their parents are on the sidewalk, they sit on the road, they're outside, and if they should go to the gate, they run them inside. But then again, you are outside and you're sitting out there. So it's not like just what you say, it's what you do. So I see my mother sitting on the sidewalk, or I see, you know, my guardian is on the sidewalk and they just sit there and talking and all of that. So I should be able to do the same thing. No, parents, we are guardians, we need to be an example of what we want our children to be. And this is where we are asking you to help us. Help us. So the children are going to be home, and we have seen significant improvement in their behaviors. So while they are away from us, we are asking that you help us to keep that going. And we are seeing the improvement because if we were able to recognize these students during this time, then you know that we are doing very well. All right. So as we said, we just want to introduce you to the SWPB program. It is a school-wide positive behavioral intervention support, and we shorten it and call it SWPBIS. And as we said, it is a behavioral intervention program that is being implemented by ministry, wherein each school has to put together the core values that they want to work with their school. And Innswood is working with the ROAR, which is respect, obedience, ambition, and responsibility. And we are asking you to help us, to help your students to practice these core values. All right. So, and in order for them to be able to practice these, we want you, the parents, to be an example of this. All right. Remember, when you're reprimanding them, to reprimand them in the positive. Stop using the negatives to them. All right. Tell them exactly what should happen. Don't leave any doubts in their minds. When they ask you questions, give them the correct answers. Find time with them. Don't shout up at them when you're reprimanding them. Talk to them in a calm manner. If you're angry when you're going to reprimand them, don't reprimand them. Don't bother to say anything to them at that point. Wait until you're calm. Wait until you're settled. Wait until you're feeling much better. Then you talk with them. And that is basically what the SWPBIS program is all about. As I said, when we will tell you the dates for which your students, your children will receive their certificates. And at that time, they will come out and get the certificates. But before you go, there's just something I need to say to you, parents. And when we do substance abuse, we realize that these are things that are happening in the home. Parents, the smoking that happens around the home is danger for your child. Even if they don't smoke it, the smoke in the house itself, the smoke around them, and they have to inhale that, is damaging them. All right. The other day, there's a young man who is 32 years old who has cancer, and he had never smoked before. But what happened is that his father usually smokes, and he always has him on his knees whenever he's smoking. And now he's suffering from cancer. He has never smoked. He doesn't drink. So this can happen to your child. So if you as a parent do smoke, if you as the parents drink alcohol, don't take it in the house. Don't let it be around where the children have access to it. Don't send them to light the cigarette. Don't send them to buy the cigarette. Don't send them to buy the alcohol or to taste it. I see that they give the 4-year-olds, the babies, to taste it, and they laugh and think it is joke. Remember, you are only damaging your children. And I just want to end on that. Thank you, parents, for logging in and be a part of this meeting today. You have a blessed evening. Back to you, Mr. Hanson.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Brown, for sharing. And students, you know about the SWPBIS, all right? This is something that we have been doing now for years. And, you know, respect, obedience, ambition, responsibility, all of these we have been echoing for a while now. And when you look at the different posters and banners that we have around the institution, they are all on it. All of these are on those banners. And so you know exactly what Miss was talking about. We are going to continue to be respectful. We're going to continue to be obedient, ambitious, and responsible as we move forward. Now, Mrs. Evans Williams is here, and she was searching for a very important instrument that she would need to read, and she could not find it. I don't think that she has found it yet. However, what I'm going to be doing to make her task a little bit easier, I'm going to be sharing my screen. I'm going to be putting some of the information that she wants you to know on the screen. You can take pictures, you can take screenshots, so that you can have that information to go back to if necessary. And so at this time, Mrs. Williams, I'm going to invite you to come on now, and I'm going to be sharing that information on the screen as well as you speak.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mr. Anson. Dr. Thomas, Vice Principals, teachers, guardian, parents, good evening, and students, good evening. Okay, as Mr. Anson already has expressed that it is customary for school leaving ceremony to take place during this period of the school year. However, because of the pandemic and the various other challenges that are out there, CXC has also pushed back their timetable. So it simply means that exams are late June into July into August. So that has somewhat hampered our preparation. So on the screen, what we have here, there are basically 2 packages we take into consideration as best as possible, knowing that it's a period wherein money is difficult to come by. So we have package 1, package 2. Package 1 consists of the rental of the gown, photographs, souvenir, and that package is for $6,000. Package 2, which is the rental of gowns, photograph, there's no souvenir included. That package is for $3,500. I know that the period in time wherein you're given to pay the money is somewhat short period of time. We understand that and apologize for same. But we're imploring you parents as best as possible that you adhere to the dates we have there so that we can get the picture session, the photo session out of the way, so the students will be able to concentrate on their exam. We are expecting as short a break as possible so that they can move on to preparing for their exams, right? So the dates here are the 23rd of June, that's this Wednesday, and next week, the 20, sorry, my apology. This Thursday is the 17th, that's the first payment, and the second payment, Wednesday, June 23rd, 2021. And that's the date on which the photo session will be done. Also, we are imploring your parents that the school rule applies. There are only a few exceptions that were given. Students are, and the exceptions are, they're allowed to wear 8-inch length extension, that's the female students. But the extension that they're putting in, parents, we needed the extension to be the same color of their hair. So we don't expect that they have brown hair and they're going to put in a black extension, because of course you're going to be able to see the vast difference. And also, females are allowed to wear foundation. Females also, they're allowed to wear polish, but no colored nail polish, right? So we don't expect to see them in color. All right, school rule still applies. No lipstick. No hair color must apply to the hair. No wig are allowed. No jewelry except your wristwatch. Males they're not supposed to have any marking in their hair or any high hair. We prefer that the males' hair are low and they have no facial hair. All right, remember it's a school leaving, it's a school picture they are taking. All right, so we expect that, you know, the facial hair will be removed if such exists. All right, so that's it for the photo session, the requirements. For the proposed service that Mr. Hansen has mentioned before for the school leavers, that will take place on the 29th of June at 2:30. And this service will be on the platform. I'm not sure, well, the service will be streamed on the Innswood, as well as we'll have it on the Zoom. Parents, we encourage you that this service will also have delayed as well as live broadcasting, not delay, sorry. Pre-broadcast will be a part of it, as well as live broadcast. All right, so we do this especially for the students who will be participating, so that this prevents them, give them more time to prepare for their exam, because they will have exam the following day for some of them. All right, so we want to get that out of the way. So the sections that they will be participating in, we will have that done before the date. All right, so that's basically that for the school leaving service that we will have for the students.
All right, thank you so
It's
much.
over to you, Mr. Hanson.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Evans-Williams. So students, parents, the long and short of it is that there are two packages, $6,000 for one, $3,500 for the other. The only difference is that one will have a souvenir and the other will not. And we wanted to bear in mind that they must look like students when they are coming to do these photographs. They must look like students. So the same rules that would apply when they are at school as it relates to haircut, especially the boys these days. I see the boys, they're here, you know, really high these days. Really high these days. When it comes on to taking photographs, it will not be allowed. It will not be allowed, because this photograph is a representation of the institution. and you will have it for years. And we don't want you to have pictures that don't really represent the institution. So bear that in mind. If you want to participate in this photo session, if you'd like to take photographs in the gowns, in your school uniform, you will need to adhere to the rules that were just laid out. If you are not prepared to follow those guidelines, just know that you will not be able to participate in those sessions, the photographs. Okay, so the ball is in your court. It's your decision as to whether or not you want to participate. However, if you are going to participate, you would need to meet this criteria as was laid out by the grade 11 coordinator, Mrs. Evans-Williams. And this is not just a decision coming from her, it's a decision coming from the school as a whole. So please keep that in mind. Just for emphasis, Thursday, we're expecting that this Thursday you'll make the first payment, $3,000, $3,500 down payment. And then on the 23rd, the day when the photographs will be taken, that's the deadline, you'd have to pay the balance on that day. So don't come on that day and come and ask for an extension. When you come on that day, you must come with the balance in your hand, or you can just pay the full amount. Because I know parents would have been saving for graduation from the students who are in grade 7. So you'd have some money for that already. So you can just pay the full amount and get it out of the way. And on the 29th, that's when we will have the Thanksgiving service. It's going to be on Zoom and streamed on the school's YouTube page, and everybody will be able to participate on YouTube when that day comes around. All right, so please keep that in mind. I see a hand that is raised, Galaxy A10S. I don't know who you are. I'm going to ask you to rename yourself so that we can properly address you. And if you have a question, you can also type it in the chat and we will respond to you. All right, so thank you so much. All right, thank you so much, Mrs. Williams, for sharing with us. We are going to be asking our principal now to come back onto the forefront. He's going to be addressing whether or not we are going to be keeping students back or they are going to go up and so on. The question was asked earlier, so I'm going to allow the principal the opportunity to answer that. And he will also give you some information or to give you some highlight as to the whole summer school program that you have been hearing about on TV and you're wondering if your child is going to come. He is going to speak to that as well. And whatever other item he has that he did not touch the first time, he will now take the time to share with you. Over to you, Mr. Principal.
Thank you, Mr. Anson. Before I start, I just want to say thank you, sir. Job well done as usual. We can always depend on Mr. Anson to take us to a high level of professionalism. And Sir Anson, thanks again. Thank you, Mr. Small, who's also online. The dean, the guidance counselors, and others, my other colleagues, thank you very much. Now, just to emphasize, Mr. Anson, graduation, that this is our final time together, parents, grade 11 students, where we bid you farewell. Hence, we need to do so where we can remember the time we spent together during these 5 years at the Innswood High School. So parents, we're looking forward to see your children, the grade 11 children out, and also the parents on the platform so we can bid each other farewell. As it relates to keeping back students, school goes up to grade 13. So the Ministry of Education is mandatory at this time for all schools across Jamaica to have grade 13. So there will be no need to keep back students in their grades because we will have grade 12 and grade 13. So you must be worried about the content also. I know some of you are worried about the content. My child missed grade 10, grade 11. How is my child going to fare off? The dynamics of the teacher we have at Innswood High School is that they're able to go back to the content, last year content, and bring it forward. So that's how dynamic our teachers are. So we need not to worry. And I assure you this much, parents, that the teachers at Innswood High School will go the extra mile to get your child to pass the exam. I say that with a smile on my face because I know that they will hurt themselves to get your child to pass an exam. I've seen it with my eyes where teachers who are ill still come out to have classes. And I must say, your child is in good hands. So they will not be going back, they will go forward. So grade 10 will go to grade 11, grade 11 will go to grade 12, and if we have enough space, the child can go up to grade 13. So rest assured, your child is in good hands. And we're aware that this is a community, and if your child does well, our child will do well. So we're going to do all our effort, put all our effort and do our best to get your child ready for Seasick. As it relates to the summer school program, yes, we were contacted by the Minister of Education to answer questions, and the likelihood for us to be on it, we might be on it for sure. And no, I can't say much at this time. All I can say is that we were contacted. If we are successful, if they place us on the program, then we would give you more information about the summer school. The next question might ask, are the teachers ready for this? And I stress again, our teachers are more than willing to come out and go the extra mile for our children. So rest assured, if we're called for action, Innswood High School will be there for your children. So as soon as the Ministry of Education give us the directive that we need, we're going to go forward with the summer school if they give us that directive. Now, is there any more question you want to ask me before I sign out? Is there any more question you want to ask me? Go ahead now.
You could just stay because we are at the question and answer segment now.
All right,
and
go ahead.
we're going to ask you parents just to raise your hands and we will take your questions. You can type them in the chat as well and we will read them for you so that your questions can be answered. So now is the time. If you have a question, those of you on YouTube, if you have a question, just type it in the chat and I'll read your questions for you. If they have not yet been answered, you can ask and we will attend to them at this time.
In the meantime, though, let me just stress, parents, thank you very much for coming out online. Thank you for being a part of this platform, because Innswood will not be the place, or could not be the place if you were not a part of us. So all of you matter. Whenever you're there, we know that you are adding value to the school, and your children matters to us, and they too had value to Innswood High School. So we're thanking you also for sending your children to this noble institution, Innswood High School. Any question at this time?
All right, so I'm going to read one from YouTube. A parent is asking, parent is saying that her son is in grade 8, if he will be getting a grade 9 package come September. And you just answered that we're not going to be keeping the students back. They're going to be moving forward. So yes, mommy, your child will get a grade 9 package come September if the child is moving from grade 8 to 9. And for the other grades as well, the procedure follows. All right, I see a hand up, sir. It's Galaxy A10s. I'm going to ask you unmute at this time and ask your question. All right, so I'm not getting a response from Galaxy, so I'm going to move to the next person. Jade, oh well, you took down your hand. You have to keep your hand up if you'd like to ask a question. Those of you on YouTube, if you have your questions, you can still ask.
Mr. Hanson, you still a question regarding the criteria for participating in summer school?
All right, I thought I answered the question that we are unable to give out any information at this time. As soon as the Ministry of Education give us the directive, we will certainly pass it on to the students and the parents. Let me emphasize, parents and students, that we were contacted. We're waiting for them to give directive. By that I mean the Ministry of Education will be giving us instructions so we can go forward. All right?
Any other questions? I'm still seeing Galaxy, and I'm asking the person to unmute, but the person is not responding, so I'm just going to lower that hand. If you have a question, please raise your hand. and we will attend to your question. Somebody's saying that they cannot get the link for the classes. Now, if you are, the fact that you are in this meeting, it means that you have some contact with the institution or somebody has contact with you, because you would have received information to join us on YouTube, or you would have, received the message. So what I'm going to ask you to do, those of you who are on YouTube, if you are missing a class, or you were in a class and you had some issue with your login information and you cannot remember your password, please come and see us at the school. Come by the school, talk to us, and we will do what we need to do to get you back online. All right. So if you are here and you're hearing me on YouTube, you're hearing me on Zoom this evening, you are having issues getting into your class, or you were in your class and you change your device and you're having some problems now, you change your password and you don't remember what it is, come by the institution and let us assist you. If you have our numbers, send us a message. If you're in the WhatsApp groups, send us a message and we will respond to you as well. But if you can't get to us using that medium, come by the school and we will get you some assistance. All right. Thank you so much. Mrs. Ferguson, kindly unmute and go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to know, for students who are to be graduated this year, for them to be enrolled into the grade 12, 13, is there a specific requirements or a form or a different procedure? Should I be paying for the school leaving package or picture package?
All right, I will take the question, Mr. Anson. All right, for grade 12 enrollment, the grade 12 and 13 will be a normal part of the school. So whatever you have done from grade 7 to grade 11 will be the same procedure. So as relates to payment, we had deferred the payment that you would have paid in grade 11 because of COVID. Now, because we're going back to somewhat normalcy, we might introduce, that depends though on the COVID though. So we might introduce a payment package, of course. Now, here's why the payment package, if we should do so, and why we've been doing so over the years. The payment package was used to offset some of the expense that we had at school. So while we might reintroduce a small package, it will not be a lot, but depends on how COVID and how we're treated in that time. But for now, let me just say this to you. It's not the normal procedure from grade 7 to grade 12 and also 13 in terms of registration, birth certificate, and all the other stuff that that's normally done. I'm almost certain if Mrs. Rowe was online, she would have said to you that we now have an electronic system. Mr. Answer, could you, online system, could you just speak on that for me, sir?
All right, so I will do that, but I also want to say to Mommy, because I guess that one of the questions that she was asking was if the child is going to go up to grade 12 and 13, would the child need to participate in the picture taking this year in grade 11?
Okay.
Or will they wait until that time? But Mommy, you graduate in grade 11. All right, so you'll participate in the service this year. Because bear in mind that we are not sure yet what exactly will happen come September. So if you allow this session to miss you, you may be at a disadvantage. So we are asking all of you to participate in this ceremony. It's a Thanksgiving ceremony. It's not the normal graduation ceremony, right? It's a Thanksgiving ceremony. So we ask all of you to participate in that this year. That's grade 11, because we don't know exactly what will happen come next year. As it relates to the online electronic system, yes, registration is done online. We have gone digital with our data entry and storage of data. So what we're going to ask you to do, parents, very important, ensure that you have an email address that works and you know how to log into your email and to check your messages and so on. In this time, it's very important that you learn how to do that. because we will be communicating with you via email a lot in the upcoming school year. When you come to school with the child's birth certificate and all the registration documents, they are now scanned and they are uploaded to an electronic student management system, right? So all the information is online. So the principal can stay at home and I can stay at home, type in your child's name, and I can see all the information. And the secretaries at school can do likewise because we have special login credentials. So because we are working from home and everything is online, we thankfully, we started the process, before COVID came in, so we were at a good place. We were at a good place when the whole COVID-19 thing came along. We had already started to do things online. So we are saying to you, ensure that you understand, you have an understanding of how the online system works. You can also stay at home, scan the documents, and email them to the school, and your child can be registered. You don't even have to come to the school compound to register your child anymore. All you need to do is to scan your documents and upload them and email them to us, and we will register your child. So you will certainly get more information about this as we go along. Some parents would have used it before. So those of you who did not use it in the last school year when you were doing your registration, you can consider doing it now. All right, so you will certainly get more information as we go into the summer. If you are not a part of any WhatsApp group or any Google Classroom and so on, please come by the school and communicate with us. If the numbers that you have on the file for your child, if they are no longer working, please come by the school and do an update. Give us the new number. Give us the new email address. Give us the new address, place of abode where you live, so that we can find you there if necessary. We have to keep all our information current, up to date, so that we can keep the communication line open with all of you. So please keep that in mind. Donovan, I'm seeing your hand. I'm going to ask you to unmute now, and you can ask your question. Please, Donovan, I'm not seeing you anymore.
I'm here.
Go ahead. I'm hearing you. You're a little bit low, but I'm hearing you. Go ahead.
Okay, my question is, I should first apologize in case I am asking something that was easy to answer or address, because I've been trying to listen while I'm doing other things.
Okay.
No, it's regarding her here. She has an exam on the 29th, and the picture day is off on the 29th of June. So she was wondering, she don't know if her hairstyle would be accepted for her exam day, if it will go in conflict with school rules. Because I don't know if I'm getting that right way.
The picture day is actually the 23rd. However, the Thanksgiving service is the 29th. But in answering your question, when they come on the 23rd and they have in that extension that we have given them the opportunity to wear, they will not be barred from their exams.
Okay. So it was
exam. However, if they come in a hairstyle that we did not give approval for, they may need to go home or wherever and take it out and come and do the exam if they have an exam on that day.
Okay. So
they don't have that day.
So what's the requirement with regard to the hairstyle? She said something about 8 inches or 9 inches long, something to that effect.
Yes. So this information was given before, but you did apologize, and so I'm going to just run through quickly. You are allowed to have 8 inches of extension added to your normal hair. So if your normal hair was like 6 inches, you can add 8 inches to it to make it a little bit longer if you want to get it down to your shoulders and so on. The ladies are. However, you need to ensure that the extension that you put in is the same color as your natural hair. So if your hair is black, you have to put in a black extension. You can't put in pink and green and purple and those things. If your hair is brown, because we have people with bronze looking hair, you have to put in that color extension so that your natural hair color is the consistent color throughout. You understand what we're saying?
It's clear, quite clear. For her, the correction would be the picture day is actually 23rd.
Correct.
Okay, not the 29th. But I think
the ceremony on Zoom.
You have a foods exam on the 29th. I don't know.
No, that's right. The ceremony starts at 2:30 and it's online. So by that time, she would have completed her exam. And also, as it relates to the picture day, we would have checked the timetable to see if they would have an exam on that day. And based on my recollection, they would not have an exam on that day, but they would have an exam the day after.
Okay.
Yeah. So we had gone ahead and done all of that background check. So they should be okay.
Okay, so if it's the 23rd,
correct.
She's good to have the hair. So let's say she can't put the hair come from the 24th. She's good to keep it in up until that exam.
Correct.
As long as it meets the requirement, same color and the
yes. Please let it stay within the requirements. So parents out there who are listening, please ensure that it stays within the requirements. If it goes outside of the requirements, you will have an issue with the examinations. And remember that we are not responsible for the exams. Seasick have their own exam invigilators who will come in and do exams. So we have to also ensure that we stay within the regulations that are set out by the Caribbean Examination Council.
And to add Mr. Anson and parents and colleagues, we don't want to stop anybody from doing the exam, but we just want you to keep within the confine of the rules. And so we're asking, and let me say this to you, I know our students are well behaved and they will follow the instruction to the T. And the instruction was given to you by the vice principal about the ear extension. So I'm expecting that our girls and boys will follow the school rules, all right? We want to do this to the very end. And one of the things I've learned is that people who follow instruction at school, they carry that behavior to the place of work, all right? So just to add, please adhere to the instruction given for the ceremony, all right? And the picture taken so exam can go well.
Thank you, sir. I saw somebody posting in the chat that we should update the information on the website with the current contact information. Sir, would you want to speak on the reason why parents can't get us on those numbers?
Right. The numbers are down at this time. The company that provide service to us at this time having some difficulties, but we're about to get it sorted out and very in short order. But there's a number that you can use, a cell number that is available to the parents. So I'm almost certain that you'd have gotten that in your different WhatsApp group. Have you received that number, parents? So in short order, somebody say no? All right, we'll have to give you that number before we leave the platform tonight, all right? So you can go ahead with the next question. I'll get the number to you. Looking for it as we speak.
All right, so I'm not seeing any hand up. Do we have another question, Mrs. Carr? Are you seeing any questions?
Just saying that I just unmuted my mic regarding contact information. My number is in the chat and I know they have your number as well, Mr. Small number. So please, parents, feel free to reach out to us. We know that it can be very stressful when you can't communicate with us. So we have added our numbers in the chats.
All right. Okay. You have the numbers, Mr. Anson?
I'm just going through YouTube, sir, and the questions that are being asked there are questions like, when can we pick up the package? You know, things that we would not be able to speak to right now.
At this time, yes.
Right, at this time. So parents, just bear with us. That is why it's so important that we have contact with you and that your information is current, right? So that we can get to you when it's time. because it's not yet time for us to go into all of those details as it relates to those dates for the new school year. What we are doing now is that we are trying to prepare you and your child to go into the exams, Seasick, NCT, VET, City and Guilds, and the internal exams that we are having. All right. So we are just giving you some additional information with the other plans and programs that we have in the pipeline coming up soon. For example, the Thanksgiving service for the grade 11s, so that you can be aware of where we are and what is happening. But at this time, we would not have that information. So as soon as it becomes available, we will certainly give you all of that information and you will know exactly what is happening. All right. So please keep that in mind. Sir, I'm not seeing any more hands. I am not seeing any hands raised. I'm not seeing any question in the chat. I'm looking at YouTube. Somebody's asking how many subjects with the grade 10 students we recommended for. We don't know that yet. You know, your teachers will look at how the students performed and they will make recommendations to you parents as it relates to which subjects they cannot do, will be ready for, and so on. So when the time comes around, you will get that kind of information as well. All right, so just bear with us where that is concerned. As Mr. Remiki had said, to be on the safe side, put down $30,000. Just save and put down $30,000 to be on the safe side. That way, you won't have any issues when the time comes around. All right, so if there are no more questions or concerns, I'm going to now turn over to our principal to give the final comments, and then this meeting will be adjourned.
Thank you again, Mr. Anson. As usual, you continue to display professionalism right throughout your time with us. All right, colleagues, parents, thank you for your time with us. I hope that the information given was useful, and I hope that you remember to use information so when it's time for the exam, you'll be well informed and you can take action. Again, colleagues, may the Lord bless you. May the Lord continue to keep you safe as you get back to us come September. May the Lord watch over you. God bless you, and you're free to go. Sorry, before you go, Mr. Oh, that's it. You're free to go. That's fine. That's fine. You're free to go.
Thank you so much, Mr. Principal.